you very much. We'll now move on to our third delegation, that being Shahraz Kassam. And you have 10 minutes.
Thank you. Before I start, I just want Audrey Shaw to have a look at this face. This is Carl Joseph Walker. He hung himself because of gay confusion and gay bullying. He was 11 years old. That makes him elementary school. I'm Shahraz Kassam, a Muslim Canadian. I made Canada my home when I was 7 years old, and I lived in Burnaby for over 30 years. My two brothers attended Burnaby Central, and my two kids have attended Seaforth Elementary and now attend Burnaby Mountain. In the last 30 years, I've started two businesses with a total of 9 locations at one time here in Burnaby, Surrey, Vancouver, and Richmond, creating over 200 jobs, circulating over $100 million in the economy. I've won numerous awards, and this year my business, Shaman Jewelers, will continue to give out 10 scholarships to deserving high school students in the Lower Mainland, starting tomorrow at Burnaby Central. Why am I telling you this? Because in high school, I planned to kill myself. I was taught by my parents to attend church regularly, respect all people, be polite, and to speak when I'm spoken to. I went to a British school in Africa, so I had this cute British accent, which the teachers loved and my classmates thought was totally gay. I was pushed into lockers, called a fag, gay, queer, Paki, Hindu, and the list goes on. I was kicked in the stomach and punched. That pain is gone, but the pain from the name calling remains. I hated PE because there the bullies had free reign to hit me in the head playing dodgeball or any other game. I'm sorry, this is the first time my kids are hearing this, and it's not easy. When the rest of the kids got excited to see snow falling, I would have a knot in my stomach because I knew on the way home from school or during lunch I would get thrown to the ground and get my face washed. When the bell rang at 3 p.m., the rest of the kids would run out and rush home. I, on the other hand, would hide in the school, waiting for the bullies to go home, so I wouldn't get beaten up on the way home. The teachers never saw anything. The school board was not there for me. My fellow students were not there for me, and I never told my parents. I was too young to even know what I was, straight or gay. But like the protesters' families here, my family spoke of gay people as abnormal, weird, and not acceptable. But gay or not, it's your kids, our kids, that need this policy, as they are the ones that get gay bullied the most. It's the kids that may even be perceived as gay that need this policy. On May 16, 2011, a study published in the Journal of American School Health Association found that youth who experience high levels of gay school victimization in middle and high school report impaired health and mental health in young adulthood, including depression, suicide attempts that require medical care, sexually transmitted diseases, and a higher risk for HIV. This is evidence of the lasting personal and social cost of failing to make our schools safe for not my child, not your child, but every child who deserves this policy. 1 in 5 teens think about suicide. 1 in 6 teens make plans for suicide, and more than 1 in 12 teens attempt suicide in Canada. One of the leading causes of teen suicides is sexual preference and non-acceptance that they feel amongst their peers, teachers, parents, and society in general. Being a secular country, we also have an obligation to teach future leaders about tolerance and acceptance, not only so they can live amongst others in society, but also prepare them, if they have a gay child, to be better able to understand their child's needs. I personally know many young men and women that think about suicide. Sadly, I have a friend here in Vancouver who lost his boyfriend, killed himself at age 24 due to his homophobic Catholic parents. Did God give us this book to use as a weapon? To kill, to hurt, and to spread intolerance? Or did He give it to us with this book an intellect with which to interpret the words? In this book, God says the earth is flat, but then He gave us science to reveal that indeed the earth is round. There are 3 gay brothers in Burnaby that are taking part in a genetic DNA study conducted by Northwestern Medical School in Chicago that has already shown that being gay is a genetic condition linked to the maternal X chromosome called XQ28. Homosexuality and homosexual behavior has been around since the first signs of life. It exists in all species of animals, including, of course, humans. Right now, I know one young Asian man from a Catholic family who has been tormented for the last 7 months since he came out to his parents and family. I just met with him on Sunday. His parents tell him he's been misled by the devil and feel that he can change his choice. One day, this young man sent me a text on my phone. He was in anguish and pain, and he wrote, "I just want to kill myself, then at least other parents will learn," unquote. He has been let down by the school board. They never gave him the tools he needs to stand up for himself, to know what is right, to know that he is normal. His family has let him down. His church has let him down. I spoke to his mother and told her that her son is struggling and is suicidal. She responded that in her religion, being gay and suicide are the same thing. Both burn in eternal hell, so it makes no difference to her. I was speechless. And to this day I wonder if perhaps education would have opened his mother's mind and heart. I even wrote to his pastor telling him that a child of his church is struggling. Father Paul Chu responded by saying, "According to the Bible, the acts, deeds of homosexuality is not acceptable. Pray and work hard to follow Christ, as it is only through the narrow gate that we can reach his kingdom," unquote. The gate to God's kingdom may be narrow, but the gate to education and knowledge is wide, and it has to remain wide open. This is why I'm here today. Those who hate are holding on to the literal interpretation of our holy books that were revealed to civilization that lived 2,000 years ago. I wonder, if we needed medical advice, would we turn to a medical 2,000 years ago? I have heard from many that this policy is too specialized. Why are we protecting only the gay kids when we should just say no to bullying in general? I'm not sure if these members are indeed aware that there are other specific policies already in place that are protecting our children, such as 1976 Policy 5.08, 1981 Policy 6.45, and Policy 6.40. These cover positive school climate, prejudice, and multiculturalism. By implementing these policies, we have learned that by teaching students from a young age about cultures they may not be familiar with, we can foster an environment in which racial differences are not seen as a negative. Now it's time to teach students from a young age about different family structures and lifestyles they may not be familiar with, so that we can foster an environment in which sexual differences are not seen as a negative. In fact, today, racial diversity is something all students are able to celebrate and embrace. One day, all students will instinctively understand that sexual differences are something that enriches everyone's lives, and that being born as different sexual preference is normal, and no one sexual preference is superior to another, just as no one race is superior to another. It is of utmost importance that if we are to create a gay acceptance policy, then the term gay has to be a part of this policy. If we take the word gay out, then the meaning behind the policy is lost. It's no longer a policy devoted to gay bullying. Gay is not a dirty word. Many outside seem to have trouble with the definition of heterosexism in the draft policy. So I'm going to take the same definition and change the words "all people are heterosexual" to "all people are of the Aryan race." This is what the definition sounds like now. White supremacy refers to the mistaken assumption that all people are of the Aryan race, and that the Aryan race is superior and the norm by which all other races and cultural identities are measured. White supremacy perpetuates negative stereotypes and is dangerous to individuals and communities. No one here would have a problem with that sentence anymore, would we? So you see, same meaning, just the hate is towards a different minority group. We need to show young people who are struggling with their own sexual confusion and those who may have siblings, relatives, or parents who are gay that it is as normal as being left-handed. Gay teens are ashamed of telling their friends that they're gay. Can you imagine a time when a teen would be embarrassed to tell his fellow student that his mom is Asian or that his dad is brown? Of course not. Today, that is no longer something to be embarrassed about. But can a teenager tell his fellow students that she has two moms? Or that his dad is gay? Or that they have two dads? No. Our students are embarrassed of themselves and their own families. How can we as a society accept that?
You have 1 minute.
Thank you. We have an obligation to teach in an impartial, non-biased way the students in our schools that homosexuality is an accepted part of Canadian society And going against the gay acceptance policy would be going against our Charter of Rights. For those of you who are opposed to this policy, I ask that you take a few minutes and look at these young men. Look in their eyes. What do you see? Do you see their hopes? Perhaps you can see their dreams of becoming a teacher, a scientist, a doctor, a researcher. Perhaps when they graduate, they will go on to discover the cure for your child's leukemia. This young gentleman here is Bobby Griffith. He jumped to his death off a freeway. There's a true story of him in a movie and a book called Prayers for Bobby. Everyone here who is opposed to this policy should watch that movie. It's a true story who, because of ignorant people, including his own Catholic family, his teachers, and his schoolmates, he killed himself. His mother realized her mistakes months after his death. It was too late for Bobby, and it's already too late for thousands of other young people like him who have taken their own lives.
That's your time now, your 10 minutes.
Okay, just one more sentence. It's my hope that your eyes, hearts, and minds open before yet another young man or young woman closes theirs permanently. And to those young people listening to this, remember, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Reach out to us, reach out to others, go to itgetsbetter.org. Trust me, it does get better. Have faith, stay strong. There are many people here that care about you. Thank you.
Thank you. The trustees, any questions or clarification for the delegation? Seeing none, we'll go to our fourth delegation, that